Hi, my name's Greg Petty, and I'm going to demo a new add-on feature for the Red and Black Application Analyzer that provides the ability to examine and analyze system trace logs through your browser. As many of you will know, a trace log is a serious error report where the software has basically abandoned execution. Normally, you'd have to have access to the file system on the server in order to view the trace files and to examine a very long and somewhat complex data file. We've implemented this new feature as a plugin to the Application Analyzer, and when it's being added to the analyzer, you'll see an option at the bottom called Get TraceLogs. When you execute this particular aspect, you'll see for each day that has any trace logs will be displayed on the left-hand side. And for any of these trace logs, you can select them from the list. Once you've selected one of these trace logs, you'll get a series of cards or sections associated with that trace log on the right-hand side in our inspection panel. Now let's see what kind of information this shows us. To start with, we have the header, which is essentially the line of the trace log. It tells us where the error happened with enough specifics that if we had access to the source code, we could find this exact point in the code. It also shows us the error message, which indicates the specific type of error, and we also see exactly what time it happened. On the right-hand side, we have a description of this specific error message, which can be helpful to understand what happened. The next section here is an expert analysis of the information found in the trace log. In this case, as this was a web report related trace log, the tool provides a number of useful notes about any web report's functionality used. For example, we see that the initial web report that was used is this view custom header. The error occurred in a subtag called RBAA. There was one sub-web report call in the process. The initial request was a REST API call that was executed from a perspective running a widget. The next two sections provide summaries of all of the software calls in the trace. Before we look at these, I'll show you what the raw trace log looks like using this expansion button. Here's the actual trace log in all its glory. As you can see, it's very noisy, even for someone who works with them all the time. The stack summary here has distilled all of the key information from the trace log, representing every software call starting from the bottom or beginning all the way to the top where the trace occurred. For each one of these lines or frames, we show the module, where it occurred, the object, and the script name, along with the line number. The summary also indicates any corresponding web report in context, so we can see in this example where the first web report was called and where a sub-web report was called, eventually leading to the trace. Just up here we also have a web reports call stack, which further distills this to show the ordering of web reports in this trace. Note that these web reports are mountable, so we can use the other functionality of the application analyzer to look at this initial web report along with the one that it ultimately calls, and we can also look at the content of this web report and edit it if needs be. We believe this tool provides significant value to support and development personnel, and we hope you agree. For further information or to request a trial of this utility, you can contact us on any of these coordinates. Thank you.